happy that you're joining us here at René Paris. I am Daniela and welcome to René Paris TV. Today we are talking measurements. We are talking about how to measure your head, correctly. And I also want to make sure, if you don't mind, that I answer a couple questions because you know, I've had so many questions, and then we'll jump right into how to measure correctly. I think the first thing that that I want to go over, if you don't mind, someone asked me, what are your favorite summer wigs? Which is a wonderful question. I like that question. I'm going to share one today. There's so many, and actually, if you didn't view our Instagram on how to pack your wigs for traveling, please make sure that you go back and view that. I did one on how to travel with wigs, and so did Abby, my friend Abby, my sister. I call her my social sister. She did one on how to travel comfortably with wigs. It is a really, really important live to view. Make sure that you subscribe. Look for us on YouTube. Follow, because you will be first to know when we're going live. And again, there's 3 of us. It's myself. Again, I'm Daniela. My personal Instagram is @TexasWigFairy. We have Abby, and we also have Alexander. I'm just going to tell you about one of my favorite looks that goes everywhere with me. This particular look, you know, when I first tried it on and when I did the sneak peek for the Amore line, this was definitely one of the crowns that I thought that's going to be in my top 10. I'll just pick 10 for the summer. If you travel with me, you know that it's of utter importance to take lots of wigs, because that's what we do. But there are pieces that are going to be very, very fun to wear, really practical, if you will, that you can dress up and dress down. And I know that it would be appropriate for any occasion. You know, some of the other pieces, I love my fashion colors, you know, but I have to keep in mind where we're going, what we're doing. And a little true story before I get into the measurements. We had to hit the road again, and I was in an elevator with about 6 women and their spouses. And when I got in, everyone looked a little flustered. It was a long day, and these people I didn't know who they were. And when I got in the elevator, everyone's, oh my goodness, I love your haircut and the color. Who does it? Did you get it done here? And I said, this is a wig. And the person that I was with had so much fun, because I always give a number. Like, I always tell them the stories that happen in the elevators or in the ladies' room, or these are all true stories. This happens to me all the time. I'm sure this happens to you. But I can't tell you how many different people have stopped me to ask me where I had my hair cut and who does the color. And my response is, I'm not really sure, because I'm never there when it's happening. That's exactly what I said. So this is Emmy from our Amore line, and this is just one of my favorite summer looks. So for the person who asked that question, thank you very much. The other is, and I know we've gone over this, but I'm going to answer the questions because I respect the fact that people take the time to ask these questions. And of course, I'm here to educate and inspire you to wear wigs. It's very, very important. Do you wash your wigs? Do you shampoo your wigs? Yes, I do shampoo my wigs. Just keep in mind, it's not complicated. It's a little tricky, because I do have so many wigs that if you don't wear them as often, then you really don't have to shampoo them that often. I'm going to show you one that looks like it needs shampooing. And again, anytime you have questions, please go back to our lives that we have, our Instagrams. These are all there for you to view for later. Our YouTube channel, same thing. You can go, and we have so many different tutorials. These are beautiful tutorials, and we take the time because these topics and questions are very, very important. When a wig, like when my wig starts looking a little bit ratty, kind of messy. It's kind of like when you have your hair and you've put a whole lot of product in it and it just looks like it needs to be. Hi there from Argentina. Thank you for joining us. For everyone on right now, thank you again. I'm Daniela, and this is René Paris TV. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going over how to measure correctly, and I'm just answering a few questions for those of you that have just jumped on. The question was, do you shampoo your personal wigs? I do. However, like when I'm traveling, if I only wear this one a couple times, a few hours here and there, I'm not going to shampoo them, especially if I'm traveling, because it's just, that's the beauty of having so many wigs. I don't have to worry about maintaining them. If you're going to be gone for an extended time, meaning, you know, a month at a time, then definitely you will be shampooing your wigs. If you're going for a few days, if you're going with several looks and you're interchanging them, please keep in mind that it's not, you don't have to shampoo your wigs that's very often. That's why I share so many times that when women are traveling, anyone who's wearing wigs, male, female, children, anyone that's wearing wigs, whenever you're traveling, this is one of the best things about the convenience of traveling with wigs. You just stay looking great all the time. It's so easy. And if you're not going for an extended time, again, go back and view my Instagram on how to shampoo and take care of them while traveling. You really don't need to shampoo that often. Okay, so the other question that I just answered a while ago was, which is your favorite, your 10 favorite wigs for summer? And I just said this is one of them. And then I wanted to remind you, I said this a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to remind you, if you're on a trip and you have, say for instance, Angelica, or let me think of what else. Angelica, there's several, Linux, there's several styles that are really wonderful. Make sure you go look for Alexander's tutorial on how to turn a long style into a faux bob. I cannot tell you how wonderful that tutorial is, because it is so great. It's definitely great because if you have one style, you don't want to take a lot of them, you need to view that and learn how to turn your longer style into a faux bob for after 5, if you're just going to be out. Just the versatility of changing the style. Okay, one more question and then we'll get into measuring. Do I always wear shorter wigs? I do. I usually do wear shorter wigs. I do travel with longer wigs. I travel with shorter wigs because we're working. We're doing what we do, what so many of us do every day. We're working with wigs. We're showing people. We're trying wigs on, and I mean, we do hair. That's what we do. So a lot of times we're moving constantly. So I am more comfortable wearing shorter hair just because I call it my work hair. It's my 9 to 5 hair. Then we have 5 to 7 hair, 7 to 9 hair. We have hair for I know it sounds funny, but if I usually kind of lay my wigs out like that. But I do feel most comfortable in shorter styles. So again, this is Emmy. Okay, so I'm going to get into how to measure correctly. And the most important thing I think I can share with you about measuring is, first of all, this is going to be just pretty industry standard, meaning that these are kind of just basic measurements for wigs. And I say that just another experience that I just went through. My husband doesn't have hair at all. He's never really had that much hair for a long time. And I love him that way. We're beautiful both ways. He just wanted to look at a custom-made hat, which is it was really funny because it was so similar to the experience of walking into a wig store and asking them to help you measure your head, because we don't know what size we need. I mean, I was lost. I'm from Texas. We're big cowboy hat wearers here, but I've never measured my head. Most of them have been gifts. but I wanted to show you, they measured his head, and I just felt like I was, like when someone walks into one of the wig stores that we go into, and they were assisting him for the best fit. So again, these are pretty standard across the board. And I'm going to show you the most important thing. First of all, when I sit someone down to measure, the very first thing I want them to do is I want them to put a wig cap on, because I see people trying to measure and the hair is getting in the way, the ponytails are getting in the way. Everyone's going to measure the way they feel comfortable. I feel comfortable doing it with the wig cap on if the individual has bio hair. No matter what amount of hair they have, I always put a wig cap on, because that's going to keep all the other hair out of my way when I need to do my work. So we're going to do circumference first. Circumference first. And I'll turn around to show you, but you want to take a flexible measuring tape. And you want to put it at the nape of your head back here. And you don't want to go too far down. I always share this because this is so vitally important. When you're measuring your head, when you're putting a wig on, you want to go above the bend in the back. When you bend like this, you don't want it to be in the fold of your neck back here. You want to go above. So you want to raise the tape enough in the back here. And I always say, bend your head back like that, because I don't want the individual to feel the tape, the measuring tape back here. So I'm about 22. And you want to mark that down, or if you remember it. So I'm about a 22. And then we're going to do ear to ear. And I always fold my ear down right here, because you don't want it inside the ear, you want it above the ear. So I'm folding my ear down here. Now I'm about a 12. I'm laughing too, because I always tell people, I said, I have a really large head. Then you want to take from the hairline here, back, and I have to remember I have a little bit of bio hair here, so I always want to keep that in mind. And then I'm going to bend my head back, because again, I'm measuring to the nape, and I'm about a 12. Really 11 and a half, but 12, 11 and a half, because the 12, I have bulk back here. So I always say, one of the beautiful things about ready to wear wigs is that I understand sometimes I go through this every Friday with about 20 people at one time. And we kind of go into panic, because not all of us can get into a wig boutique right now. However, I highly recommend you to go to reneappears.com, look at the locator, find somewhere where you can go and they can help you. Please keep in mind, when I'm sharing with you today, it's pretty standard across the industry, meaning every company is going to have the way their particular cap constructions are designed. However, with those measurements, if you're about a 21, and I'm just going to go over standard measurements, meaning if you're 21 inches, you're petite. Average is about 21 and a quarter, 21.25. Average large is about 21.5, 22. Large is 23 inches. So if you look at I'm at average large. I'm at 22 inches. So with that being said, I'm not going to worry too much about the front and because I'm going to go with circumference. Just trust me on this. If you feel like you're really, really petite, like if you fall into the petite, then you definitely want to look into smaller styles. However, don't worry. I tell this to my ladies all the time when they come in. I work with guys too, and some of these pieces I have worked beautifully on for men. We modify them a little bit. Some of these pieces work beautifully for both female and male. The most important thing is just remember, we have done this for a long time. We can tell you if you feel like you have a smaller size head, we can tell you what styles in our lines will fit you beautifully. I want to show you something just in case you don't know they're there, because I honestly run into people all the time that don't know that these adjustments are in the back. Here's an adjustment here. Here's an adjustment here. You can size your adjustments off the head or on the head, however you feel more comfortable. However, these are here so that if you felt like you were a 21 and you feel like you need to take it up just a little bit, that's what these are here for. These are going to work with you on the right and the left to make it smaller or larger by an inch to an inch. I would say an inch. Let's just go with an inch. They do, on some of them, I can pretty much tell you it's an inch and a half if you let them both out. But I can't tell you how nice it is to be able to adjust these. And the best part about it is you can do this at home. Like when you're at home, make sure, like I was saying, some people don't really understand why it's important to put a wig cap on if you have hair. Let me just remind you, I know you've heard me say this. What's really important about ready to wear wigs with the adjustments is, say for instance myself, I go through periods of having more hair than other times. Like right now, I have quite a bit of bio hair in the back. I don't have much on the sides, and my hair on the top is really thin. So whenever I put a wig on, I have to keep in mind that the ready to wear pieces have a little bit of wiggle room. I know that sounds funny, but it's important because they're super comfortable. When you get into something, and I'm not going to even go into that because this is what's confusing on a lot of the questions I get. Customization is different. We're not here to customize. These are ready to wear pieces. So the measurements for customization are going to be entirely different. Today I am showing you how to measure your head for ready to wear pieces like all the collections that we have here at René Paris. Okay, so I am 22 in circumference. I have comfortably worn anything from Amore, Noriko, René Paris, all the lines. I mean, all the lines. And then I've had people that I work with and they feel like their head's just really, really small. And I can't tell you how many times we can fit them beautifully into something from the Amore line. The Amore line is done and crafted so beautifully that it is what I like to call very affordable medical type wigs. They're beautifully constructed. They run a little bit smaller. I helped someone the other day that had been wearing, let me think what she had been wearing. She had been wearing cocoa for years, and as she was losing more hair, she just felt like she wanted something a little bit snug. She wanted it to fit closer to the head, and so she started, we started looking for something that was silver stone in color, a little bit more, I'm not going to say petite because she's not petite, but let me just tell you, we fit her with Silverstone Erica. Erica is a beautiful style and it fit her head beautifully, and she was about a 21 inch. So I know I know if you're new to wigs, it gets a little scary whenever you're trying wigs on. But the most important thing I can tell you is these are made to, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I always say they're here to grow with you, and I say that because whenever, I'm going to show you something really quickly before I get to do this too. They mold to you with body heat. Just the fabric. I mean fabric. I'm not meaning anything else. I'm just saying when you wear them and your body heats up, the fabric heats up and they become so much more comfortable. When you're measuring, the most important thing again is, and I can't tell you how many times, this is the one thing that causes so many of our people to feel like the wig is not fitting correctly. Let me show you. I wore a short wig for this reason. Whenever you put a wig on, you don't want to pull all the way down. You do not want to pull the wig far down here. I see so many people pulling it way down here because their hairline grows. They have a low hairline. It grows further down here. And so they're trying to hide whatever bio hair they might have there. Well, what happens is when you turn your head, if it's in the fold of the neck, it's going to feel like it's going to pop off. So the one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you raise it above the fold in your neck. I can't tell you how many times that helps with the measurements, because when you're when you're doing the tape, you're using the tape circumference, you go too low and your reading's like 22, 23, and that's not correct because your placement was incorrect. So hopefully that's helpful. The other thing that's very, very important is when you go to reneaparis.com, you can you do a search for larger styles. We have several styles. All our styles are beautiful, but we do have some styles. Say for instance, Angelica, that comes in a larger size. Reese, there's so many beautiful styles. Check the styles you like, see what's available in a larger style, and then remember, we've taught classes for years at René Paris, so I know that we have worked with many licensed hairstylists that know how to modify, customize the caps. You can find someone in your area that has experience to do this. I know. We've taught lots of classes before the lockdown, so there's so many people that are available to do this service for you. You may have to pay a little bit extra in the wig boutiques, but it's just to give you an example. It's like having a beautiful garment and you're having it alterations done. It's the same thing, and it's totally worth the investment because they're personalizing it to you as far as fit. So please remember reneaparis.com. If you're looking for larger sizes, you can do a search and find out what is available in larger sizes. But the one thing I'm going to remind you is, you saw me measure my head. My head is considered large, and I wear everything from René Paris, Noriko, the Amore line. I can't stress enough how wonderful it is to be able to adjust it. And I know if you've never worn a wig before, it's kind of hard to understand, but I kid you not, once your body heats up, the fabric softens and it molds to you. It just happens. It doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take days for it to do that. But they're super, super comfortable. And like I said a couple Mondays ago, I like the René Paris styles for that reason, because I am larger in my head size, and these are comfortable for me. And look at all the, I call these like capless styles because that's what they feel like to me. These are just so comfortable in the warmer weather. Going back to the question, what are my favorite 10 styles for summer? Today I just gave you one. I can't really pick 10. There's like, can I do 10? So I hope that helped you as far as measurements. And always remember that we in research and development are constantly studying what you like, what you don't like, new designs. And like I said, we have another wonderful line coming out really soon, Alexander's wig line. So if you have not subscribed, if you're not following, please do so, because you will be the first to know when that launches. I don't know, I don't have a date. I just know that it's anytime that they're going to launch something new and someone works so hard on a collection, I want to be part of it. So I hope I taught you, and I hope you feel more comfortable about, you know, you don't have to be so precise, because again, these are ready to wear wigs. Don't get nervous, please. If you don't have one of these, like I said, find a boutique in your area that can help you. They know how to do all this. And if they don't have a measuring tape, that's still okay. They can pretty much tell you by their experience which wigs they would feel like. I mean, I can pretty much look at you and tell you what I feel like, you know, is going to fit comfortably. But again, do not forget the adjustments on the inside of the wigs. All the wigs have adjustments. That's what they're there for. And the reason I show this every time that I talk about adjustments is because honestly, like I was saying, this past few days I experienced what it's like to go in to have a custom cowboy hat made. I didn't know what the band on the inside was. I didn't know that. So they had to show me on the inside of the band. Otherwise I would have never, I didn't even know what to ask. So when we go over details like this, it's very, very important. You just take this little adjustment and you pull on this to make it tighter, or you let it out to make it larger. So if you fall in love with the style, that's the other thing. If you fall in love with, say for instance, breezy, and it's not specified as a certain size, don't panic. I mean, if you feel like you're really petite in size, and you fall into that circumference number, there should be someone in your area to help you modify your pieces, customize the pieces. And the other thing I want to say is, when it comes to children, if your child is looking for a wig, please know that most children that I work with, and I've worked with children for 27 years, they can fit into the Amore line, and they can fit into really any of these pieces. These are more comfortable for 7 years on up. Usually, my little cousin Bella, who's been on Instagram with me before, she wore the René Apparel styles really comfortably, and a few of the Norikos. I mean, these don't feel like you have to go out and have something custom made. Please try ready to wear before you, you know, try ready to wear first. It's beautiful. If I want to order, you know what would be great is if you go to the locator in reneapparel.com. I'm an educator, so I don't necessarily, I work everywhere across the United States, and we're educating. So, if you go to the reneapparel.com website, you go to your locator, we can find you someone in your area that would be just as wonderful. We've taught so many classes, and I know there's so many beautiful boutiques out there. If you're ordering online or if you're ordering in store, please know it's a wonderful experience. So I hope I helped you. Want to make sure that I answered all the questions. I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. Again, I'm Daniela, and my personal Instagram is @TexasWigFairy. Make sure you go back and view all the other tutorials, please, because we have so many beautiful tutorials. There's something almost every day that comes up. So just keep that in mind. Have a good afternoon, and I will see you next time. Bye.